Greetings and salutations, humans. Welcome to the channel. This is your host, Putinbot, and today we are here to do a guide on Genzin, the Shadowkin turn meter master. First, before we go any further, I just want to just talk about his aesthetics. He just looks awesome. He's got this dragon on the back of his coat. He has this dragon here on his armor. He's got this big honking sword that's as big as he is. He's got that scary looking mask. I mean, this dude looks like an absolute monster. I would not want to piss him off and then meet him in a back alley somewhere. That would just frankly suck. So, I mean, hats off to Plarium. But aesthetically, Genzin is an absolute monster. And let's kind of go over his kit. Let's look over his skills. I'll show you the masteries that he has. And then I will tell you all where I use him. And we'll take him for a spin or two. So without any further ado, let's hop on into it. Let's look at his total stats. My Genzin has 223 accuracy, 217 crit damage, 101 crit rate. Speed is low, 209. But you're going to see why here in just a moment. Defense is non-existent. His attack is low as well. He's at 3,874. I do not have Genzin built as a nuker. I have got my Genzin built as a utility champion. And you're about to see what I mean by that. Let's look at his skills. His A1, Flowing Cuts, attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit fills his champion's turn meter by 6%. That means he gets an 18% increase on his turn meter just for using his A1, which is insane. His A2, Parting Steel, attacks all enemies. Has a 75% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns, books up to 100%. Each critical hit fills his champion's turn meter by 10%. So if you have 10 enemies that are out there, you go and you get a crit on all 5 of them, you get 50% of your turn meter back, which is insane. Then Fated Vengeance. Attacks one enemy. Will ignore unkillable and shield buffs. Fills his champion's turn meter by 30%. Fills his champion's turn meter by 60% instead if the target has 50% HP or less after this attack. Also decreases the cooldown of the Steel, Parting, and Fated Vengeance skills by 1 if this attack kills an enemy. Just an absolute turn meter monster. And then his passive. Increases this champion's speed by 10 and resist by 50 if the number of champions on this champion's team is equal to or lower than the number of enemies on the enemy team. This effect always works when fighting bosses. So if you're looking at this, if you say this is Screaming Spider, you would correct early game. Late game, you don't want to kill the spiders. You want them alive to use hit point burns to kill them. Early game though, Genzin can slaughter those spiderlings and then just gain a crap ton of turn meter and then just unleash just a world of pain. Masteries for Genzin, because he has that triple hitter on his A1, I have him coming down to Giant Slayer. I've also gone down the support tree. As you can see, I have not finished mastering him out. Whenever I do, I think I will go down to Spirit Haste. I'm just undecided. I got down the Giant Slayer and I got the accuracy debuffs and I just stopped. I mean, for my account, I couldn't justify the energy, but if I ever do finish building him out, I'll take him down here to Spirit Haste. And the reason for that is because he's getting so much turn meter off of his skills. He comes back to his A2 so fast, Master Hexer just seems kind of redundant. Now, as far as the artifacts I have Genzin in, I have him built in a Faction Wars build. Faction Wars is all about control, and whenever I beat Faction Wars, it was before they had a Reser. And so getting through the waves was an absolute nightmare. So I have got Genzin built in a stun set, and I just never have changed him out of it. Genzin can do a crap ton of damage. If you're going to build your Genzin for damage, I recommend that you go with Savage and Cruel, or just 3 Cruel sets, and he can just unleash just a world of absolute pain. The way I've got my Genzin built is more of a utility / crowd control build, as you see here, with the gear that I've got him in. I've got him in speed boots with crit rate. I've got him in crit damage gauntlets. I want to get some damage out of him from something else besides those Giant Slayer procs. And to get the most out of his skills, he has to crit. So you need to have 100% crit rate, get some crit damage in there, get him with a decent amount of attack and accuracy, and you're golden. I've got more crit rate on the weapon. I've got speed and some crit rate on the helmet. I've got more speed, more crit rate on the shield. And the attack chest is going to be mandatory if you want to do damage, which Genzin is an attack-based champion. Even if you have him in a control build like I have, you want to get some damage out of him. I've got him in a attack ring. I've got him in a crit damage amulet. And I have got him in a accuracy banner with a nice triple roll and flat attack. Womp womp. What can you do? I prefer that to be in speed, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. Without any further ado, let's hop in. Let's take a look and see just what he is able to do. And I will be right back. We're going to jump over into the dungeons. We're going to go into Fire Knight. We're going to do Fire Knight 20 just to kind of speed things up. I'm going to put together a team. His kit is screaming, absolutely screaming Fire Knight God, and you would be 100% correct with that assumption. So it looks like we've just about got a team put together here. Let's just go ahead and throw in Apothecary. You got Apothecary in the lead. He's going to give us speed. We've got Allure for turn meter control against the boss. Cold Heart for turn meter control against the boss and nukes. Skyle for stuns and healing and reses in case we need it. And then, of course, we've got Genzin here, who is the feature of this particular showcase. Let's go into it, shall we? I'm not going to do a damage test because I just don't have him built in a damage build. Well, let's just go ahead and just see. Y'all talk me into it. Let's just go ahead and see how hard he hits. Okay, so here's the defense down. Let me slow this down. Keep in mind, I do not have Genzin built to nuke. So you got defense down on pretty much everybody. One person resisted. 12,000 across the board. Decent. Not world breaking, but I don't expect it to be. Not with this build. Keep in mind, I've got Genzin built. Look how fast he's coming back around. You see this? Now we're going to do Fated Vengeance. Let's just go ahead and smack 21k. And of course I hit the one that did not have the defense down. Underwhelming, but that's my fault, not his. That is because I did a dumb thing. Let's just go ahead and see how hard that A1 hits. Let's go ahead and heal up. Allure. Okay, here we are with the A1. Let's hit this dude here on the right to slow it down. Call it 35k. Decent damage, especially since I don't have him built as a nuker. I'm going to put this on auto, and we will be right back. Okay, so we just cleared through. Let's go to compare damage. Genzin came in with 1.2 million. Coldheart came in with 1.1. I mean, for the way that I've got him built, that is respectable. If you want to build Genzin for damage, and Genzin can really just hit like an absolute truck. Put him in Savage. Put him in Savage and Cruel, put him in Savage and Crit Damage gear, and he is an absolute cannon. However, if you are trying to get through Faction Wars, if you have not yet beat Faction Wars for the Shadowkin, if you have Genzin, sticking him in a stun set will make your life significantly easier. You got the Paragons. They're able to throw up that unkillable buff. That's no problem for Genzin. He can just cut right through it. He has that AoE on his A2 with the defense down. With the stun set, gives you a chance to proc that stun. He has a triple hitter on the A1, gives you a chance to proc that stun. He has that cannon on his A3. The best part is, every time he takes a turn, he's gaining turn meter. You put him in with someone like Sachi, or Sachi and Tomo, you have got some really, really impressive speed and DPS going. So going to take a look at this. Crit rate, goodbye, don't want you. I'm not going to show y'all Genzin in the arena because frankly he's not built for it. If you're going to use him as arena nuker, give him DPS gear, and then you're going to put him in the Helm Smasher. I've got him in Giant Slayer. I don't use Genzin anywhere else except for Faction Wars and also in Doom Tower occasionally. I don't use Genzin anywhere except for PvE. So that's the reason why he's in the build that he is in. Let me go ahead and show y'all him in Ice Golem. Let me just do Ice Golem 20. I put together a team. I will be right back. Okay, so here we are. We've got the team. We've got Morrigan in the lead. If you got her, congratulations. If you passed on her, I feel sorry for you. Great champion. We've got Skyle, who is a daily login reward. We've got Genzin, of course. We've got Dark Elaine, who is another daily login reward. And we have Venom Mage. She's going to be in there for poisons, kind of help Genzin clear the waves and also help us kill the boss. Without any further ado, let's get into it. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to compare damage. Venom Mage came in at 767,000. Dark Elaine, she's just absolute monster. Absolutely love her. Still my favorite epics. She comes in at 2.2 million. And then we have Genzin, who comes in at 1.6 million damage. And y'all saw this run was never in any kind of jeopardy. It's an accessible team. And Genzin's just in there with this build. He's not there for damage. He's there as DPS / support. He's like a hybrid, is how I've got him currently running. Let's see this. No, thank you. Goodbye. I mean, he's just a really good champion. He's very versatile. If you need a nuker, he can fill that role. If you need a debuffer, he can fill that role. If you want to kind of do what I'm doing and do a support / DPS, he can do that as well, because his skills give him so much turn meter. He just takes so many turns, it's insane. Especially if you have someone that has a turn meter manipulation, like a apothecary or arbiter, someone along those lines. He just takes so many stinking turns, it is insane. Let me see. I can't think of any other place to show y'all him. Not clan boss. What am I doing? And of course, there is no Shadowkin open up today. That's unfortunate. Guess I can show y'all. Dragon 20, he's going to be weak affinity. And really, everything he's bringing, you've already seen. I really can't think of any other place to show him. I think we're just going to end the video here, y'all. I mean, you saw for yourselves. I'm running y'all through 2 dungeons. I'm not going to show them in the arena because I don't have them built in an arena build. It would be pointless. I mean, he would get wasted. He's too slow and he's not built to do damage. So, final thoughts on Genzin. He's a good legendary. I think in some ways he's underrated by the community. Some of the big boy content creators, they kind of poo-poo on him because his damage multipliers are not as high as some legendaries. Even there are some epics like Alika that can actually out-damage him. I've done damage tests in the past. Maybe I'll need to do that, put him into a damage build and do a dogfight between him and Alika. The last time I did it, Alika just mopped the floor up with him. So, final thoughts on Genzin. So, Genzin, he is a turn meter god. His multipliers are relatively low. He doesn't do a lot of damage per hit. That being said, he takes so many turns, it is very additive with what he's able to do. He can throw out a surprising amount of damage because of how many turns he's able to take. I mean, you throw Giant Slayer on that A1, and he's getting 18% turn meter. He's just whacking, getting turn meter. He's getting turn meter, getting the critical hits. Well, you saw it for yourself. He's like a blender. He chops, he slices, he dices. He's like those knives that you see on those infomercials. He just cuts things up. That's what he does. If you are struggling with faction wars, you have 2 options. One, you can put them to a stun set like what I've done. If you have a team with enough support, but Genzin himself keeps kind of dying on you, stick him to lifesteal. He gets so many turns, he's able to self-heal himself very, very effectively. I mean, he's a good champion. Is he a god? No. Are there better legendaries out there? Yes. But I'll tell you this too, there's also a lot of worse ones. Build your account around what you have. If you're early game or mid game, or if you're struggling, especially in Shadowkin faction wars, and if you're struggling in some of the spirit affinity waves, and you're kind of like me, or you're top heavy with force affinity champions, bring Genzin in. Take him off the bench. He can play well for you. Well, y'all, on that note, this is Putinbot. I'm going to head on out, and I have a favor for y'all. If y'all like this video, if you like this content, if you would please gently massage that like button, I would appreciate it. And if you haven't already done so, consider subscribing to the channel. We have reached almost 400 subscribers in the last couple of months, and that is insane. I am very thankful for the support. And if you're new to the channel, if you're new to Putinbot Gaming, then consider joining us. Press that subscribe button. I upload Raid Shadow Legends and Baldur's Gate 3. I do both of those games, and I would just love to have you. Well, I'm going to head on out. Y'all have a good one. This is Putin Bot, and I will see y'all later.